I'll use that. I got this stuff where you can drop down in your ear and you can put an earplug in it.
Yeah.
And then it takes saline solution and it literally like dissolves anything that's in there and then pulls it.
It's on the counter.
Like I said,
I think
it didn't start until I left from. It didn't start until I left the house today.
I don't know. It's not back here. It didn't start until when?
It didn't start until I actually like walked out of the house and left today.
Yeah, it's probably from like the air pressure.
That's what I'm thinking too.
It's fucked today because like it was like 20 degrees this morning when I went outside.
Was it really?
It was so fucking cold when I went to work this morning.
No, but like I was telling you, I mean that way we can split this up into 2 days. I got that oil dye stuff and everything, and I got that coolant dye that I put in the truck. It really is really cool. And the oil dye stuff only comes in like a 1 ounce bottle, and it's like $8 or $9. And then the flashlight itself with a black light is like another $9. So all you got to do is just buy the dye stuff after you buy that, and then so less than $20 you can find out, and they make it for oil, brake, coolant.
I mean, it's basically it's literally just UV food coloring, essentially.
More or less. And like I'm a little concerned now because the fluid up under there did not glow when I looked at it today. So where it's located,
it's not real. It's not a real leak.
I'm thinking it's either diff fluid, which is a possibility because those gaskets have never ever been changed.
Yeah.
Transfer case is leaking, or it's the transmission. And the thing is that doesn't take ATF fluid; it's regular gear oil. So it's not going to be a bright red color. You know, so it's hard to tell.
Tough.
Yeah. So
I mean,
I checked the oil.
It's an old ass engine.
230,000 miles on it. 234,000 actually.
Yeah.
About to hit 240,000 probably within the next month or two.
Dude, I saw like a butterfly freshly out of a cocoon, a young wigger in training. He looked like a sperm in Tim's. It's the elementary school around the corner when I was driving home.
No.
Dude, he's like 12. If he's that old.
Dude, I was the only white kid at my elementary school, and I never was like that.
Right.
And I even grew up in the ghetto. We talked about that on here many times.
Yeah.
And we both did. But we both grew up in that. We didn't turn out like that.
No, I live in suburbia. It's hell. I hate it. It's hell. But it's like a nice neighborhood. There's an elementary school around the corner. And standing on the corner when I came home, was a fucking 10-year-old. We'll say 10. 10-year-old in a bleach white hoodie. Bleach white joggers. The freshest Tim's. Like, Tim's so fresh, if this was a bad neighborhood, a black kid would have stole them. Yep. Like, just standing on the corner. And I so badly had to restrain myself from just going, faggot, out the window. And I would have done it if I didn't have to park 10 feet further down the road.
Dude, all that I could think about when you say faggot like that, like, all I can think about is, like, that court session they had on South Park. And it's like,
faggot.
They're like, okay, well, why are you using this, like, as he's not a homosexual. He's like, okay, are you somebody who drives a Harley and goes through neighborhoods and does all this? He's like, no, then you're not a faggot. He's like, well, I'm homosexual in this. And he's like, okay, if you go to a stoplight and a car speeds through and does all this, he said, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? And
faggot.
He's like, fag. And he's like, exactly. But you're not calling him a homosexual. He's just a douche. And he's like,
he's just an inconsiderate douchebag. That is the synonym for faggot, besides guy who takes dick up ass and or bundle of sticks.
And the best thing about it was, like, the fact that
this is an educational podcast.
He puts the paper down and he's like, this just makes too much sense to me.
Yeah, I've seen the South Park bit.
Oh man, that episode is so great, but it's so accurate too. At the same time,
I just throw it out there because nobody likes it except me.
Man,
excuse me. But no, I was just like, you're like 10. You live in suburbia. Shut the fuck up,
man. Like when I
hate wearing boots. I hate wearing Timbs. I've worn them.
When I transferred from Meadowdale to Vandalia, that's a big, like,
dude,
jump in
this
culture.
Kid, I don't think I've stressed this enough. He looked like a Klan member in New York trying to blend in. He was that white.
Well, I can tell you right now, man. Like, I know people who were like that, like when I was growing up. Like,
I mean, yeah.
And the bad thing was, like I said, I was literally the only white person in Meadowdale. And then, when my parents come to me one day and they're like, "Okay, we're moving here."
I went to Meadowdale for like a year.
Yeah, and then like to go to
hell
from Meadowdale to Vandalia Butler, and that was like, their parents all had a bunch of money and and all that. And then you see these kids that are growing up in,
it's like
in $500,000-$600,000 homes, and their parents got money, and like, hell, there was some of their parents driving Ferraris and to drop them off and all that. And then you're like,
yeah, it's upper middle class.
And it's like, yo, what's up? Grabbing their crotch and saying and all this. And like,
I have to bleep that.
Yeah. But hey, it's context.
It's a quote.
It's all in context.
It's a quote. I'll leave it. I don't care.
But and I'm like, okay, did you ever grow up like in like East Dayton or West Dayton? And
no,
like,
they've never
been here my whole life. Like,
they've never set
on,
foot in Dayton. Those retards used to buy weed from me for $50 a gram.
Like, I'm like, not cool, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, they're literally. It's like Wiggers are the definition of cultural appropriation, only in the suburbs. If your dad drives a fucking Jeep Rubicon or a fucking a crew cab F-250, suck my dick. You don't live in the hood.
That's like country people. Like, people are trying to act like they're all country, and then they grow up like in like suburbs their whole life.
Oh yeah,
never even slung like any types of like
dude. So
bales of hay or anything.
Well,
like
that's so common here in Ohio because you drive 5 minutes outside your house, it's just corn.
Yeah,
everywhere. It's fucking. We have a statue like shrine to corn up in the fucking northeastern part of Ohio.
But
this place is a cesspool.
You see these guys like driving around with like $50,000-$60,000 trucks, and like to get out with like cowboy boots on, a cowboy hat, and it's like, oh, what do you do for a living? Like, oh, I don't work. Like, like
what do you do What do you do for a living? I'm in stocks.
Like mommy and daddy like paid for all your stuff, and you just woke up one day and were like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna dress like country folk."
Well, no, it's not that they woke up that day. It's because their dad probably was some form of farmer or worked on or did something with farm equipment, or they just lived out in the country and his dad listened to country music and he's like, "That's me."
Well, I get asked that all the time.
I'm Jason Aldean.
Like, how many times you've been around with me, like when I've been at work and stuff, and then I get pissed off or something, or I'm talking in the middle of a conversation just being cool, and that southern accent comes out, and people are like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Here, but I grew up in Tennessee."
But I'm retarded.
Yeah, and I'm retarded. Like,
I grew up in Dayton. Of course I talk like this. I'm fucking stupid.
But,
it's like when I was little, my twang from my mom growing up in Kentucky, I didn't live in Kentucky long enough I learned to talk there, but like my twang only came out when I was around my family when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Or saying certain things. And like the only way you can tell that I grew up or my family's from Kentucky is I say Louisville the right way.
It's like mom, like when
I say it the retarded way, the way that they say it.
It's like how many times you see mom, like when you were living with us, and like she'd be like, "All right, well, I'm gonna go up here and go to the store and get some toilet paper," and like we would give her shit for that all the time. She gets so mad.
She says, "Your mom says toilet the way that black lady that went viral says toilet, sitting on toilet, sitting on toilet." That's how your tiny white mom says toilet.
But granted, mom grew up in country though.
I know.
She did. I mean, we get it. I mean, that's how both her and my dad were technically. But my dad hides that really bad.
And your mom used to get harassed because she almost looks Chinese. She's just pale enough that they were like, "Oh wait, She passes the paper bag test, so they're like,
Yeah.
they're like, your eyes are a little too squinty. It's all right. Kara gets the same thing from cops. She's got squinty eyes too, but she's like, you're pale as a ghost. You pass.
Wait a minute, hold on. Do they really mistake me for? I was about to say,
I'm being racist and funny.
Oh, dude, I was about to say I'm about to give her so much shit. For that.
No, I get pulled over infinitely more than she does. It's actually, I think that it's racist because I get pulled over because I drive shit boxes.
Well, that's the same with me. Like, I get pulled.
Karen does like 35 through here, and I get pulled over for doing.
What'd she say?
What? Yeah, so I get pulled over infinitely more than you.
Well, like
my statement is still true.
Well, like what the truck looks like out there, with it having primer and stuff on it, and then having a Flowmaster, and cops are thinking like, oh well, I'll just pull this motherfucker over and profile him, and like then they pull me over. Drugs. Yeah, and then they pull me over, and then they see an FOP sticker in that, and then they're like, oh fuck, okay.
You'd think that they'd see the Masonic license plate and be like, oh, never mind.
No, it's not even a Masonic license plate. I mean, yeah, that emblem is on there, but the FOP sticker's on there, too. Yeah. And that's usually, like, when they leave me alone, they're like, oh, that's owned by,
you know what's crazy cop. Is I still... my tags are valid. I still haven't replaced them.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I'm riding this to see how long it goes.
Just to see.
And I've been pulled over since then. Not a word has been said about my tags. I don't think they fucking check.
Well, I got into it
because I know they have the scanners on the cars here.
Mm-hmm. Down in Dayton.
No, they have them here.
Oh, do they really?
They have them all the way out here, dude.
I didn't know that. I knew Dayton was only running in there for a while.
Inglewood and Union got like brand new cars like 2 years ago.
Well, they want to like when I've gotten pulled over in this area, they want me to like. They're like, oh yeah, it pulls up to show that there was a previous CCW, registered under that because before the whole constitutional carry went into effect, like you had to have CCW here in Ohio. But then when you got pulled over, it told him you had a gun in the car, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I've literally driven past the cops in Inglewood and like been next to them at a stoplight and looked over, and I've seen my driver's license photo on his computer that he's looking at because his rear bumper scanned my license plate.
Well, you'll find this kind of funny because I know you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because you were there with me when it happened that one day. I was telling Jess a story the other day about how we went on lunch break one day when I was driving the Malibu, and we went and picked up AJ, and how Clark County Deputy Sheriff blocked me in the driveway. And then he ran the plates and profiled my ass really badly.
Oh, yeah. He thought we were... I mean, to be fair.
He's like,
To be fair, we are two white guys in a car that's registered to Drexel.
Yeah, that's exactly what I told her about. She's like, when did that happen? I was like, oh, like when we were still working in the garage over here in Heber Heights.
Yeah, I don't even remember what that cop looked like. I just remember him being like, you don't fucking belong here.
Yeah, well, I remember AJ walking out of the house and he's like, what's the problem? And he's like, well, we've been having a lot of break-ins in here. And I'm like, so you ran my plates and seen it was from Drexel and thought it was okay to pull, like, just go ahead and give me shit. But that's...
He straight up was like, don't be here past dark, boy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm the wrong color, sir. And I passed the test.
What made it even more, worse was the fact that we were all in our shop uniforms, too.
Yeah.
All three of us.
Clearly, we are either robbing an old lady in, a fucking Three Stooges fashion, or we're fucking on our lunch break.
Exactly. And I was telling her about that the other day, and she's like, are you serious? That really happened? I said, I swear to God, you can ask your son. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean...
Fucking cops don't like people from Drexel. Don't matter who you are.
When I lived out there, you know how much shit they gave me when I was out there?
Dude, when we handled that fucking crackhead. The cops treated us like fucking shitheads.
Yeah. I mean...
They took 45 minutes to get out there in the first place. And when they got there, they're like, why are you doing this? And I was like, fuck you mean, why?
I'm so glad that you were there because Mom would have shot him so bad, dude.
Oh yeah, no, he would have ended up in the toolbox in the fucking abandoned house down the road, like the guy that Nick Swisher killed. Yeah, I'm name dropping him. I don't care. He's a meth head gay faggot.
Well, yeah, because he's got a bad standing with everybody. And
yeah,
but
and it made like state news.
That dude,
he desecrated a corpse.
Yeah, and
he got charged with desecration of a corpse.
That crackhead that tried to break in over there, man. That was probably the worst decision that dude has ever made in his whole life after that we were fucking done, dude. Like,
oh yeah, no,
I'm like not gonna sugarcoat that shit.
I like
to
think that he went clean after that.
I would like to think so too, but you know that dude.
He almost got executed mob style by your tiny white mom.
Like the fact that he got his ass beat by Nick, then ran off, got his ass beat again by me, then I drug him up the street on a gravel road by his shirt.
He got away.
And then he got taken to the ground again.
By me.
Yep. And then fucking mom's just sitting there kicking the shit out of his face while he's yelling, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I guess you fucking shouldn't have. But,
I mean, he tried to break into not one, but 2 houses in a row. It was actually insane. And then the Trotwoods, when they finally showed up, they were just like, I mean, you guys didn't kill him, but like, why are we involved? And I was like, because you're fucking cops.
Well, not only that, they had to take him away by ambulance. They couldn't even put him in the back of a cruiser. He was so fucked up by the time
he was fine. He was faking a lot of that. I think he was hoping that the paramedics were going to give him drugs. Because as soon as he saw the ambulance, he was like, morphine now. You fucking fag.
The dude got fucked up though.
Yeah.
And like I seen the
he's
photo,
lucky.
His mugshot photo after everything got done. Oh my god, we fucked him up good,
yeah,
man.
Fuck that dude.
Like,
he's lucky he didn't get shot by your grandpa.
Yeah, because
because your grandpa wouldn't have just shot him like a fucking in a self-defense way. He would have like unloaded like Steven Crowder over at the fucking Mandalay Bay shooting. He would have fucking he would have shot through that fucking crackhead and shot through 3 houses behind him.
Little tip, kids, don't ever try to break into somebody's house. This is why you shouldn't do drugs. This guy had enough nerve to literally come through the dead end of a street of an old park at 2 o'clock in the morning and decided to park his bicycle right out in front of the house that he was breaking, which caused him to get his ass beat by 4 different people.
He tried to break in the mom's house because I didn't know what was going on because I was like watching fucking anime or something while you were talking to grandma and grandpa, and I just heard yelling, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I just see some retard limping towards me like a zombie.
The only thing I can...
And he literally was like, couldn't figure out the chain link fence gate, so he started climbing over it, and I just fucking threw him off.
Well, it was the fact
who the fuck are you?
He tried to run into the house after Nick beat the shit out of him.
Which I didn't even know.
Look, as much as shit that guy has done, I'll give him credit. He fucked that dude up originally, and I've literally seen him pick that dude. Head. He picked that dude up this high off the ground and body slammed him.
Yeah, like Nick was probably on crystal.
Oh, he probably was. But then, literally,
smoking that sky blue.
After he tried to run in at Grandma and Grandpa when they were standing there at the door, that's when I jumped in. And the only thing I can remember hearing, the only thing right now that I can remember after everything was said and done, was Sam yelling in the side yard at me.
Don't kill him.
She's like, "You're gonna kill him! Stop!"
Dude, Nick beat him up like the fucking Mexican dude from Breaking Bad when he killed his crony.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that fucking retard. Fucking, you remember that dude's name? It's like Julio or some retarded.
Yeah, it's something
Tuco.
like that.
It was
Tuco. Yeah, Tuco.
Yeah, when Nick beat up him like Tuco when he crushes Crystal, like, and snorts it and just starts wailing on his homie.
Like you told me that one day recently, you're like, I can't tell anybody any of this shit happened because it's like almost not believable because of the amount of shit that happens.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I wanted to start this, because growing up in like literally one of the top 10 shittiest cities in America.
Yeah.
Like, is wild.
I actually seen...
we were number 1 for opioid abuse for a long time.
Yep. Crossroads of America, dude.
10 years running, opioid deaths.
Well,
I'm pretty sure champion of the world.
Somebody actually sent me a list the other day, and it said 10 most worst cities to live in Ohio.
Dayton's like number 3.
Number 10 was New Carlisle. And,
Tough.
Or no, it was 20. It was 20. Number 20 was New Carlisle.
Which I believe.
And Drexel was number 12. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I've been up there. It should be, I'm not saying it should be number 1, but it should definitely be lower on that list, man. Should be lower.
I don't know. Since they added the speed bumps that stopped the takeovers that were happening.
No, yeah, off of Gettysburg and all that.
I don't know. Drexel is a lot better than it used to be. It used to be you couldn't drive down 3rd Street without catching a brick through your windshield if you didn't live there.
Mm-hmm.
Or like,
it's still that way in some places, though.
I mean, you have to go back into like one of the plats.
Like the Bricker Plat.
Yeah. If you go back into the Bricker Plat and you don't live there, you're retarded.
Cops won't even go back there, dude.
Yeah, because they're going to get shot. And cops, especially Trotwood cops, are fucking pussies.
It's like Soda Bass, man. Like, they don't want to go down in there either.
Yeah, no. I mean, the fucking cops in Trotwood are so retarded. They fired like 300 rounds and didn't kill someone.
Which we talked about on our podcast.
Yeah, no, they're fucking so stupid. That they destroyed a church instead of killing the guy that fucking almost killed 3 cops, which that sucks.
No, like I told you in that podcast when we talked about it was that episode that we talked about it, they fired that many rounds and
hit that dude maybe once.
And they hit that dude once out of like
it was legitimately like 300 rounds.
It was like 300 rounds between all of the officers that were all there, and I'm like, y'all couldn't hit the broadside of a fucking barn, dude.
Some dudes
pure
were
daylight.
Some dudes were like walking from like 150 meters away in between traffic cars, just like, oh, they're shooting. I'm gonna take some pot shots. They were like shooting over cars.
They would never even known. But my thing is like, they need to go back and go get qualified after that. And I said that even on that episode that they need to go get requalified.
Yeah, no, Trotwood's gay. I hate them.
But so on a lighter note, you did want to talk about it since I had got you into the Mass Effect games. How?
Oh yeah. So have you ever made this comparison about the Mass Effect trilogy? It's a metaphor for Christianity.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
So, they hide it so well throughout the entire thing because everything's called like the Crucible or fucking like they all have like these big names that don't mean anything, but the main character's name is fucking Shepard. And at the end, the very last 5 seconds of the game is what makes it religious.
I'm going to go off on a limb and say that the ending that you have to choose just pissed me off so bad. Like, you sacrifice all of that to make sure that the guests get their individualized independence for like...
And then you kill them all.
And then you kill them all. I'm like...
Mass genocide.
Like, come on, bro. Like, that. So I agree with people when they're like, yeah, the game was absolutely phenomenal up until like the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. So like the final cinematic of the game is a grandfather talking to his grandson, and they're looking at the stars on some snowy planet, and the kid's like, "Tell me another story about the shepherd."
Yeah, I did. The
shepherd. This presumably that cinematic takes place a couple hundred years in the future. Shepherd is now a legend to where they don't know his name. He's just referred to as the shepherd. He died. He fucking died and was resurrected by a woman who stood vigil by him for 2 fucking years.
I see where you're getting at. Okay.
His entire sequence, the entire game sequence, is him constantly bearing the sins of the galaxy. He has to destroy a relay in one of the DLCs.
Yeah, Arrival. Yeah, to keep the Reapers from coming.
To keep the Reapers back. He has to shoulder all of that
because of all the Batarian deaths.
Because of all the deaths. He pariahs himself to save the universe, essentially, to save the galaxy. He pariahs himself. And then he walks around for the entire rest of the war knowing that he was right the whole time and he doesn't gloat. I mean, if you do the high Paragon.
Well, Renegade.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
if you go Renegade, he's like, so here's my other point. I'll get to that. But like, if you have a high Paragon, you choose the high route.
Oh, yeah.
The heavenly route.
Mm-hmm.
He shoulders the sins of basically humanity and eventually the entire galaxy when he's given the choice from a fucking godlike being. He is given the choice to sacrifice himself for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
In not just one way, but 3 ways. One that possibly destroys his body. One that definitely destroys his body and his mind. And one that destroys his soul. They say it integrates his soul into the machines. Mind, body, soul. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. It's a trinity of games. It's literally the Matrix trilogy in video game form. It's a metaphor for the Bible. It's crazy. It's actually insane.
I've never heard it put like that before, but yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm not a Christian, but I saw at the end, it literally hit me like an autistic fucking flashbang. I was like, tell me more stories about the shepherd. And it was like, oh my fucking God, it's religious. Holy fuck, I see it all.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite podcast, The Citadel. So,
but no, and like, so to go to the renegade factor of the games, right?
Yeah.
So you have the option to be the holy high road guy or the dirty down low guy who still gets the job done. He still, at the end of the day, saves humanity, but he does it his way, and he does it a dirty way. Yep. You have the choice to be Christ or the Antichrist.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
It's like a metaphor.
I don't think I'll ever look at that game without knowing that now. I'll never go to look at it the same again. Not to say that it's not a fantastic
and like there's literally, and that's
what,
and like this is all just like me theorizing about it because of that 1 5-minute fucking cinematic at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all it needed, and that's what makes it beautiful. Is that's all it needed to make that connection, is that one religious thing, because religion is not a factor throughout any of the games.
No, not at all.
They talk about cults.
There is one.
They talk about the cult of Saren. They talk about the cult of the old machines, and it's always
one time that religion is a factor in that. One time, and that's when you are on Mass Effect 2, when you are on Omega and you're going to walk towards the shops, and that guy's up there, and he's like, "The end is nigh." Like, you know, that is literally the only time that I can see, except for
because he ends up on the Citadel.
But this even goes with what you just said. The only 2 other ways that the cult is like the Hanar, like, you know, the Enkindlers and blah blah blah, and you know. Which, by the way, I don't know if you knew or not, when you take Jobbik to do those missions, like, you get unique dialogue out of it, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I threw him around, and he spoke to people, and it was cool.
Yeah. But now, like, I'm on Andromeda, and, again, it is such an underappreciated game. I mean,
it's very good so far from what I've played. I've gotten all the way up to I basically beat the prologue where his dad dies.
Well, I've already made 2 planets out of 5 with 100% viability on them.
Nice.
So, and I've got like 25 or 30 hours in that thing already.
Nice. So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting concept. Like, the enemy is like terraforming planets to be like just uninhabitable.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good. I mean, the combat is definitely what makes it more different from everything else. Like, the combat's totally different from any of the other games, which is a good thing. Which I'm very curious to see how they do the next one, which is going to be the 4th game, technically, you know, a direct sequel to 3, which I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool to see, like, how far... Have they talked about how far it's going to be from 3? Well, because, like, each game has, like, 2 years in between it, basically.
Not necessarily. The only thing that I've even seen is the trailer they did last year, and it shows Liara going... They're on a snow planet, and they go to... Like, she picks up pieced out of the snow, and it's part of Commander Shepard's like helmet.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've seen. Okay. And so,
which doesn't give any semblance of time because they live 1,000 years.
Which I don't know. I mean, I hope that they put enough time into it and they don't fuck it up like Dragon Age, which you and me talked about that. They seem like they're doing that, like where they're not going to make it very woke and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, we had a whole episode about that.
No, of course.
But it's fucking...
1 second.
It's a phenomenal game. Yeah, you're fine. Phenomenal game. I highly recommend it to anyone that enjoys single-player games. Oh my god, I can't have dead air. It's terrible. I am going to get a new camera soon. This angle's terrible. Hopefully when I move, I can set up the studio better. I just can't do anything at this house because I'm renting it. And because I'd like to just build a fucking full studio instead of having this half-ass setup I've gotten here. Which is mostly the setup is to keep it quiet so I wouldn't care sleeping if I'm gaming.
Man, that's how it was with the house up there. I wanted to do a few things with it, but then it's like, well, I can't really do anything because we're renting it. You know? But, and to shame to say the least, I know. Is there anything that you have put down in notes as far as that you wanted to bring up?
I mean, I was just going to, I have a funny point about teachers because we've had some interesting run-ins with teachers. Teachers suck for the most part. There's a few diamonds in the rough, but anyone who accepts $25,000 a year to be around kids is either a fucking psychopath who likes power tripping, or they're a pedophile.
That's true.
And there's been a lot of pedophiles getting caught in schools recently. A lot of ladies banging teenage boys.
Principal that was at my high school, like back when I was in school, he was only there for like maybe a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah,
last week
banging 14-year-olds.
Yeah, last week he was a teacher or a principal somewhere, but it was on WHIO. He got arrested for that.
Yep.
And like
they're getting him. I love it.
I do too.
I love it. It makes me want to pick up a hammer and act like David DePape.
I can't,
because now I'm going to have access to his address.
Well, I can't tell you the amount of teachers that I had seen or heard about, them, having relationships with like girls that were like when I was in high school, when I was like 16, 17 years old, and I'm hearing them like they're being very inappropriate with like, girls I was friends with. And
dude, a guy just got fired from Hobart, the place where I learned how to weld. Which is like, it's a technical school, but like everyone there is like 18 and up for the most part.
Yeah.
But one of the teachers was like fucking being creepy as shit with the chicks, taking pictures of like their asses and stuff. He told one girl to get down on her knees.
Oh shit.
Like in front of people. He used to work at the shop that I work at now. And I actually found out from one of them. And they were like, he's a fucking piece of shit. I always knew it. He needs to burn in hell. Little faggot. Fucking bearded faggot.
And
pedophile.
Everything that is being said about that guy is justified then.
Oh yeah, fuck that dude. No, he's like 30 and he's in a position of power over a 19-year-old girl, and he's just like, oh, I'll make this joke. It's fine. No, it's not a joke. You're literally sexualizing your student. You shouldn't be a teacher. Honestly, you should not just only get shit canned, you should get the shit kicked out of you by your coworkers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and all those dudes in there are welders, and a lot of them got kids, so I wouldn't be surprised if you caught a few in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. And understandable. I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah. And that brings me to another thing is anyone that's in a position of power and abuses it needs to have their teeth kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
Because any form of self-supremacy, kill yourself. If you think that and this is going to sound really funny, and I'm kind of joking, but if you think that you're better than most people, kill yourself. Because everyone is fucked up and retarded.
We dealt with that every single day.
Oh, America's terrible. America's terrible for it, dude. It's horrible. Customer service is the worst shit in the
Every
world.
single day we went into work, we dealt with that.
Oh yeah, it was worse when I got a management position.
Oh, God.
Dude, it's so gay. It's so gay. Like people,
and it's even,
and it's like, and it's not just like people thinking like, oh, I'm the best ever. It's people that like buy into like the actual race supremacy, and like I make racial jokes. Yeah, I grew up racially, like surrounded by racial people.
Mm-hmm.
I lived with a black man and his wife for fucking 3 years. It made me kind of racist. That's normal. That's life.
Well, I love the fact that like when, like right before that you had come home from the military, and I was working up in that garage, and one day he had enough nerve to be like, "You're gonna do what I fucking tell you to do."
Oh yeah,
and all this, and I looked at him and I dropped everything. I said, "I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to," but I love that because he was never like that. It was never like that when we were techs, dude, originally. But it was like that little itty bit of fucking management that he got with a little bit of authority over it. He thought he could wield that shit over anybody.
Well, yeah, it's not about, like, yes, there's an argument to be made that, like, if you're put in any form of supervisory position, yes, you do hold some form of power over somebody. But it's when you swing your dick around.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have a problem with. But I was leaning more towards, like, people that think that they're the best person on the planet solely because they're, like, white.
Oh,
or
that too.
because they're black. Or because they're
But
Asian.
you know what, though?
Like,
my argument still stands with him because you know how he was.
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was racist as fuck.
Oh, fuck yeah, he was.
He was a racist motherfucker.
Oh,
Every time there was a black person in the shop, he'd come up to you and he'd, like, lean over and, like, put his gut on the car and be like, "Are there any black and milds in the car?"
Yep,
It's like,
that's exactly what he would do, man. Make comments about that shit all the time.
he'd be like, "I bet she's cheating on him. They're always cheating." It's just like, dude, you know nothing about these people. You're straight up profiling them because they're black.
Imagine how
wild
dude,
that you work on their cars.
You thought it was bad when we worked up there. You should have been when I worked at Miller Lane.
I'm sure
with
it was
him.
so much worse.
It was 100 times fucking worse. Because literally me and him were the only two white guys in that shop. And you wouldn't believe the kinds of shit.
He's a hard code switcher.
Holy shit,
dude,
man.
He's a hard code switcher. If he gets a little comfortable with a black person, he thinks he can say the N-word. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually crazy.
Believe it or not, he wouldn't do that when they were around out there because they'd fucking...
Well, that's the thing. He wasn't comfortable enough with them, but he was comfortable around you because you were white.
And I was just like... There were a couple times I was like, dude, what the fuck? Really? Like...
Because literally this dude would, like, turn to us and be like, "Look at them. They're over there, like, just fucking around. It's like a group of monkeys."
Yep.
It's like...
Oh. Like, there was enough that it was like, whoa, dude, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, you realize there are, like, 8 cameras in here in this shop pointed at you right now. I know they don't have audio, but, like, fuck, man.
And then
you're just letting them fly.
And
like, I don't even do shit like that. And I lived with a black dude, and he used to call me slurs for black people just when I woke up in the morning.
Dude, what I heard, it was so much worse after we left. Like,
yeah, because nobody had a backbone to stand up.
Oh, nobody did.
The big fat retard that was literally, dude, he looked like, imagine if you took a child, like a fat beer belly toddler, and you blew it up in Photoshop and threw a fucking shitty chin strap beard on it with some glasses. That's what he was. He was a fat man child who looked like he was wearing a diaper all the time. And they were too scared to stand up to him because he thought he was a big tough guy. And I wanted to break his jaw, but he had too much fat. His neck was like a pit bull's neck. It was like fucking...
Well, I had heard...
fucking douchebag.
AJ had told me later on that one of the guys in the shop had got hired in as a service writer after we had left. This black guy.
Yeah.
And he got it so bad from him up there.
And he didn't want to say anything because...
it got to the point where he had to go to, like, the store manager and stuff. It was that bad. And, ultimately, it took for an entire shop to get them to get rid of them.
Dude. Could you imagine if, what was her fucking name? Khaleesi.
Oh.
Can you imagine if she was the store manager of that store?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And she had to deal with that because she was like a Black Power Fist lady. She was like
She
a
was
Black
a
Lives Matter.
bitch, man. I
Oh,
couldn't
she was a
stand her.
royal bitch. Like not because of the Black Lives Matter. That just made it worse.
No, she was just a bitch. She was just a bitch, dude.
She was a no nonsense cunt. She fucking sucked.
I've got my own stories about her, man. Like, she was like,
But if there was anything mildly racial, it was like a bloodhound.
oh yeah,
She came out to the shop if we even was like, damn, this dude's car smells like Newport. She'd be like, what was that?
Yep.
Where did you come from? Are you fucking Black Goku?
Yeah. But I'm telling you though, man, like, it took eventually for all of those guys to get together and to go to district for them, or market level, for them to even do anything about it. Like, that's how long it took.
Well, yeah, also because there's so much dude, Walmart is like a really good representation of trying to get anything done in Congress.
Oh yeah, that's
like,
a damn good comparison.
Like, anyone who's worked at Walmart, like, if you take that and you just take the retardation that happens at your store's administration level and then you blow that up and put it in DC, it's literally the same thing. It's so retarded. It's just 400 retards arguing about 5,000 different things, and no one can make a decision until they get paid. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Robin Williams said it best. They should have to wear NASCAR jackets with all their sponsors.
Yeah.
I should have to see how many motherfuckers have a Raytheon jacket. It's literally all of them, but I want to see it.
Like, and then
Raytheon's going crazy right now. You shitting me? Syria war breaks out again. It's fucking popping off. They're killing Christians in the Holy Land.
they're having
Raytheon stocks are going through the roof, baby.
Yeah, it's fucking wild over there, dude. It really is. Did you see? Now, I was reading about this today, but I know it's happened within the past week. So because of the tariffs that have been introduced, that apparently Canada has cut power off to a small section of the northern United States. I guess it's like a very, very small section. Like,
it's
like
probably like people that don't even know how to read or didn't have power in the first place. It's probably
oh yeah,
it's probably somewhere in like Montana. They're just like, there's like 50 people in this town. Turn off the one power line. Suck my ass, Canada.
Oh yeah, like,
suck my ass. You're getting tariffed on energy and lumber. We have the largest economy in the world.
I guess, like, Trump has, like, flat out told them that they're going to regret doing that now because he's going to cut, I guess, like, one of the largest manufacturers or something like that up there. He was going to stop something up there.
That's because they get materials from us. We do send out raw materials. People don't know that. The United States does have fucking exports.
But it's another good example of why that we need to be self-sufficient, too.
I mean, yeah. But this is... Dog, listen to me. I'm not a big Trump guy. I know he sold us out to Israel. That's fine. He's got fucking Netanyahu's fucking forearm deep in Trump's ass. That's fine. That's normal for presidents. I hate it. It probably won't change unless we go build a fucking noose out in front of the White House. But I can't do that because that's a fucking threat of violence, and this is a comedy podcast. It's all parody. Everything I say on this is jokes.
Look,
obviously.
man, you know just as
But I'm not done. Hang on.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
But he was right about Russia becoming the sole supplier of gas for Germany, and Germany is now dependent on Russian gas. He said that 2 years ago, and people thought he was full of shit. And it came true, so I'm kind of leaning towards maybe he's right about some things.
Yeah, well, that's true. But, you know, look, man.
I will take anything over Reaganomics.
We have talked about this before, where it doesn't matter what politician that you decide to back. All it is you're going with the lesser of two evils.
Oh, yeah. I hate it. It sucks ass.
And I hate it that it's got to be like that.
There were three... like non-affiliated people on the ballot when I voted. Like, for the whole state, there were three. Everything else, I was just like, I don't like the Democrats this year. I guess I'm a Republican this year. And I was, fuck it. Fuck them. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, Democrats definitely have changed since the 90s. So,
No, they've been the same. They've always been the same. They just switch. They both sides
Both
code
sides
switch.
do. Yeah, they do.
But Democrats have always been the most racist party. They just have been hiding it under a veneer of we love you. But they treat minorities like they're dumb. Like they can't do anything for themselves. Like they have to be saved by white people, which is insane. Thinking that you are going to save minorities by doing some retarded thing on social media is so stupid. Like fucking Jane Fonda just at the goddamn some award ceremony.
I can't fucking stand her.
Fuck Jane Fonda. She's a cunt. I mean, she got so many soldiers killed in Vietnam. It's not even funny. But she was like accepting some award at a ceremony and talking about how fucking.
I think I've seen a clip of that.
Yeah. It's going kind of viral, but like she's just actually, you know what?
Yeah, pull it up because I'm pretty sure that I have seen that. Bitch's name? Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda. Let's go. Dumb cunt. Jane Fonda. SAG Awards. Let's go.
Oh, fucking SAG. Imagine that.
SAG, the gayest organization in the world.
Jesus.
I'm gonna watch this. I don't care. Let me fucking. I gotta turn the headphones back on. That's fine. But she can lick my taint from the back. Listen to this dumb bitch. This is so ridiculous. God. Who's that, by the way? Who's hosting the SAG Awards?
This is one of the stupidest groups ever, man.
Dude, these are the people that all went on strike for the writer's strike.
Yep.
They're a bunch of fucking retards.
Even though we somehow get to call you our colleague, you are absolutely
She whips him. She makes him do blackface, and she doesn't look bad.
She don't.
Huh. She fixed the fucking plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Jane Fonda doesn't look bad in the face, even though I know it's 100% plastic.
Oh, yeah.
If you take that dress off, she looks like Gene Hackman's hands when the police found him. All right, all right.
Thank you.
SAG Africa.
Wow, and your
SAG Africa.
seem, I don't know, less like a late twilight of my life and more like a go girl, kick ass.
She's on so much methamphetamines for this.
Oh, I bet.
She's like Hitler for his last 3 years in the war. Look at that. Look at these fucking rich retards.
I have had a really weird career.
They're standing by in case she has a heart attack.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Will testify to totally unstrategic. I retired for 15 years.
Yeah, because you killed a bunch of people.
Not usual. And
indirectly.
One of my most successful movies in my 80s and probably in my 90s. Grew up in the 40s and 50s when women weren't supposed to have opinions and not get angry. Acting gave me a chance to play angry women with opinions.
Nobody cares. Nobody.
Is being
all right, let me. Okay.
It's different.
Here we go.
Than most other unions. Because us, the workers, we actors,
You don't fucking work.
We don't manufacture anything tangible.
You're right.
What we create.
That's crazy. That's crazy that she admits that you don't do anything. She just said, we don't do anything real.
Yeah. I mean,
I know she's about to counter that point with whatever she's about to say, but that's because she's a retarded hypocrite who is on so many drugs.
Oh,
she's like 87. She's old as fuck. She's older than your grandpa.
Yep.
And he's kind of towing out the door.
Yeah.
Like, he's just old. She's on so much meth. This might be a robot.
I would go that far to say, yeah.
So profound.
Our job is to understand another human being, says someone who has never had a real conversation.
Yeah.
She is never connected with another human being.
Yeah, she's the type of woman who actually will sit there and you would try to have a conversation with her, and then she would just consistently put you down just to get her point across.
No. This is what you're not understanding. she wouldn't even look at us. She would look through people. She doesn't see people like you and me. She sees through us.
Nah.
We are nothing more than the people that are supposed to idolize her.
But you know what, though? That's anybody with money, dude.
Oh, of course.
Anybody who's in that industry.
We are from dirt, and of dirt we shall stay.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is. But no, this dumb...
We feel their joys and their pain.
Here at the 31st...
See, they were trying to cut her off. They were trying to cut her off. They were like, you need to shut the fuck up, lady. And she tried to play it off. Dude, these spray tans on these people are insane. Look at that.
Damn.
Whoa. Look at that fucking Jew. God damn. He's got like 88 Cadillac glasses. That's insane. Look how thick that is.
Dude, I could definitely start a fire with those. Like,
yeah, dude. That's not even Coke bottles. He's literally got a rear view mirror on his fucking face. I was stunned by his horse mouth and the fucking black people gap, but Jesus. He looks like Scuba Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get rid of that retard, Jesus.
Don't we? We have to know, for example, if a young woman is cutting or she's a sex worker, there's a good chance
what is she
that
talking
as a
about?
young girl she was sexually abused or incested, right? I'm thinking Bree Daniels and Clute. And I'm sure many of you guys have played bully.
Damn.
And
this is the part most people rewatch, I guess.
And that's just fucked up because, like, pause that for a minute. Like, that's fucked up to, like, name drop like that because, like, you know, what if you're seeing somebody who's, like, you know, I'm not familiar with those names and I'm not really sure, but, you know.
But Jane Fonda didn't check with them to be like, can I put you in my speech?
Yeah, but my thing is, like, you know, what if that person's just trying to, like, actively, like, trying to get past whatever happened to them, and then you're bringing this shit up,
the most famous cunt in America,
and it just makes them relive that. I'm like, man, come on,
the most famous cunt in America who's wearing a pink bedazzled stripy dress.
That's just wrong to do that. But
she literally has the tiny men from Men in Black aliens propping her skeleton up right now.
I mean, I understand. Look, I totally understand trying to bring awareness, but name dropping that and then making somebody
name dropping is crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're not famous enough for me to know who the fuck she's talking about.
I mean, I don't know who she's speaking about. I'm just speaking in terms of, because they are all known for doing that very well, name dropping people and not giving a fuck about their feelings, and, you know, to actually be like, oh, okay, you know, me bringing this up and bringing, you know, it's one thing to bring awareness to it, but it's another to make a person relive it, you know, and
yeah, this is
thinking. Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice.
Just name dropping someone who was in The Apprentice. I've never seen The Apprentice, so I don't know. This is what people are mad about.
Woke just means you give a damn about other people.
That's what I had seen. I had seen the clip.
That's insane, first of all, to say that. No, it doesn't. But carry on, lady. Go off, queen. Do your thing. Let's hear it. Let's actually make a point now. Just bullying an 80-year-old lady.
A whole lot of people are going to be really hurt by what is happening, what is coming our way.
She's talking about Trump, by the way.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's why she brought up the whole thing about Sebastian Stan and The Apprentice, because that's what it was about.
Empathy and not judge, but listen from our hearts.
They always talk about empathy.
Welcome them into our tent.
You have a $30 million home. Suck my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Let them into our tent. You haven't seen a tent except for the one that they're going to put you in when they have to kill all the bugs that are inside your old fucking vagina.
Because we are going to
Jesus
need
Christ.
a big tent.
No, we're not.
Successfully, what's coming at us?
Yeah, all the African immigrants. That's what she's actually talking about. Did you see that?
She was like, fuck this. Because that's what it looked like, right?
This is, hang on, fuck, I'm retarded. No, yeah, that was it. This is, first of all, this is the lady, this is the cast from Wicked.
Yeah, but she looks like you know, like
this looks like Jay-Z,
like fuck
actually,
that, like you know, fuck yeah. But it's like almost looks like yeah, fuck this. I don't want to hear this. You know, that's what it looks like.
And then there's just lady carved out of a coconut, but who's killing Ariana Grande slowly.
I made my first movie in 1958. It was the tail end of McCarthyism, when so many careers
You don't know what that
destroyed.
means. Yeah, all the communists in Hollywood were kicked out. That's just what she's complaining about. All her friends got sent to jail.
To remember, though, that Hollywood resisted.
Because they were communists.
Overseas, brave American producers like Hannah Weinstein
Jew.
hired blacklisted writers.
Also Jews.
Myrna Lloyd, John Huston, and Billy Wilder founded the Committee for the First Amendment. They had a radio show.
Committee for the First Amendment is only been used in recent times, by the way, to stop people from exercising First Amendment rights.
Wood fights back. Members of the committee.
And this is why people hate Hollywood, by the way. You can literally see her stroking out and have them having to hit the button to restart her.
Great social movements like apartheid or our civil rights movement or Stonewall, and asked yourself,
Gotta make it about the gays.
Would you have been brave enough to walk the bridge?
You weren't. You didn't. You fucking retard.
To take the hoses and the batons and the dogs?
Did you? You were alive then.
We don't have to wonder anymore.
She didn't do any of that shit.
Our documentary moment. This is it. And it's not.
Jesus Christ, this lady looks like E.T. I have no idea who that is.
That's Jodie Foster.
That's Jodie Foster?
Yeah.
She looks like shit.
Pretty sure that is, yeah.
If that's Jodie Foster, her face looks like it's made out of concrete. I heard a lot of people said she looked really bad in the new True Detective, and she's basically just raping dudes in it.
I'm pretty sure that's her. Yeah, that's her.
This is
Damn.
it.
She looked really bad in that photo.
And we mustn't for a moment kid ourselves about what's happening.
Yes, what's happening? You still haven't said what's happening.
Time serious.
She has not said a single time what's happening.
Be brave. This is a good time for a little Norma Ray or Karen Silkwood or Tom Joad.
See, she wants to get up there. They want to get up there and talk about this kind of shit, but they don't want to fucking actually do something that matters.
Well, there's that, but they also don't say anything. She hasn't said anything.
They're working around. She's talking in a fucking circle.
Yeah, she's just name dropping like fucking actors from the 20s. Like, shut up, lady.
We must not isolate. We must stay in community.
This is the lady with literally a 12-foot fence around her entire property and armed security guards.
We must help the vulnerable.
We
must find ways to protect.
If this lady saw a homeless man walking towards her, bleeding, asking for a Band-Aid, she would shoot him.
Let me say this right now. Like, they got all this money and they want to get up there and they want to try to say all this shit and everything. And then now look at the fucking hurricanes and shit that came through last year. Look at that.
Her fucking earrings alone could pay for a whole neighborhood.
None of them actually went down there. There might have been a couple actors and actresses that actually went down there and tried to help with the community and stuff. Because there is some of them.
Well, yeah
obviously.
And they're the ones that didn't do the photo ops.
And, you know...
Because, like, Wendigoon, who's a pretty big fucking YouTuber, went down there and he made a real documentary about it.
And then, you know, those
and then there's people like this.
They're still suffering now.
Jane Fonda literally probably went down there for a photo op. Just like Kamala Harris did. Just like Donald Trump
you know what?
did.
I'll give you...
They all do it.
You know what? You know who is a damn good example and he doesn't get enough credit for what he did? But when the 9/11 attacks happened, okay? So when 9/11 happened... Steve Buscemi went to his local fire department and said, how can I help with anything?
Yeah, Steve Buscemi worked alongside my mom. When my mom was doing the FEMA camps after 9/11, Steve Buscemi, she saw him all the time. Steve Buscemi's a good dude.
Yeah. You're right.
But this lady, who literally looks like a lamp from the waist down, this could be a genie. This could be a genie.
Other side of the conflagration, there will still be love.
What is that? You're saying words to an audience of people. Like, the words she's using make no sense to the general American public. I don't even really know what conflagration means.
No.
In my brain, that means fire and brimstone. Like, that's all I can think of when I hear that shit. It's fucking nutty. But this lady's crazy. I hate her. She needs to disappear. She needs to just fade away quietly like Gene Hackman, who... do you know the details about that?
I've heard bits and pieces.
Dog.
Yeah.
So his wife died first.
Yeah. And then he basically died from a lack of, like...
his medicine.
Food, water, medicine, all that shit.
Because he had Alzheimer's, and he died of a heart attack because he wasn't taking his heart medication.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, she was dead for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
So he was walking around his big-ass house with Alzheimer's. And every now and then he'd walk into the kitchen and be like, oh, fuck! And walk out and like go try to grab the phone, and then he'd forget.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 hours later, he walks into the kitchen for some water, and he's like, oh, fuck!
And it pretty much relives it.
He's just stuck in an endless hell of his own creation.
A dude died horribly, I will say that. Like,
yeah, but I mean, also, he groomed that lady.
Yeah.
He like brought her back from Thailand or something, and was just like, "You're my wife now."
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that as well. And
I mean, yeah, it's just what creepy actors do. They're all fucking predators. They're all predatory people. Like, fucking, what's that fucking? Who's the dude that molested his 12-year-old daughter? He's something Woody something.
Woody Allen.
Yeah, Woody Allen molested his 12-year-old daughter, and like, there's cell phone evidence of his ex-wife Mia Farrow, like, confronting him about it. Never served any time in jail. None of that. He still makes movies to this day.
That's a shame, dude.
Dude, like a famous pedophile, like a famous YouTuber caught, like doing a pedophile hunt, caught a fucking, like a big producer, like meeting up with a 16-year-old girl. Like a big producer. One who was like, you're going to jail if you touch me. And he was just like an old white guy. And it's like, these people need to be shot.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
These people are not our idols. We shouldn't idolize them. It's fucking ridiculous. But that's it with my rant. I know you need to go. You're getting antsy.
No, I was looking at my phone just to make sure nothing else didn't pop up.
Yeah.
But no, I'm good.
Hang on, let me check. Because, this is something we can talk. Well, I can be quick on this. So my little brother, you know how he lives down in Miami? He does the drum thing.
Mm-hmm.
He plays in a band.
Yeah.
So he's recently started a band with Romeo Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah. They're touring,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome, man.
Because my 21-year-old brother, like freshly 21-year-old brother, is touring around with Bon Jovi's freshly 21-year-old kid. Which is pretty wild, but I think that's cool. My brother is, I was always hoping I would be the coolest one in my family because to be granted, I've been to the most countries and I did the army thing. That's cool. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Got blown up for fucking shekels. It's cool. But like my brother, is touring the Southern United States with Bon Jovi's kid. So I suck ass in comparison. And I hope he knows that. Like, I think he's so cool for that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. When you told me that, I was like, man, that's really fucking awesome.
Yeah,
like, that really is.
He's been to New Zealand. That's where his wife is from. He married a chick from New Zealand. And, like, I was just like, all right, you've been to the place I've always wanted to visit. That's cool.
Oh, that's
Thanks.
awesome.
I've been to 30 countries, but I haven't been to the one that I want to go to.
That's awesome, though.
I've been to 30
like
shitholes.
It does sound like, especially when you told me that he was doing well for himself, and I'm happy for him, yeah.
I mean, he's doing all right. I mean, he's doing about the same I am, just hopefully a little better. He just lives down in Miami, which is cool. He's just following his passion, which is what I'm trying to do with this. It's like I'm trying to do something, make an art in some form.
Oh, that's understandable.
Yeah. Speaking of art, Scarecrow Games on YouTube.
Yep. Check out Lost Paladin Plays on YouTube and Game Challenges on YouTube.
Eventually, I'll buy a better camera. We'll record the Patreon episode tomorrow, which I'll plug it now. It's patreon.com/HoodRat and the Hooligan.
Yep.
HoodRat and Hooligan.
Links will be down below.
It'll be in the bio. But the first episode, I'm thinking since it's behind a paywall, we just talk shit, like really bad about our families.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally
just get it all out.
I'm totally okay with that.
But thank you guys for watching.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Later.